12 minutes, 10 to 80% on a fast charger. Not the kind of number that belongs to a €72,600 SUV from a brand most Europeans are still getting familiar with. And yet here it is, on an Autopark show floor in Austria, wearing matte teal, sitting next to cars from brands that have been doing this for 30 years. Whether the rest of it earns that number is the argument. The G9 all-wheel drive performance in this dark matte teal does something on a show floor that most performance SUVs require a canyon road to do. It reads as serious before you open a door. The car is 4.89 meters long, which puts it squarely against the BMW X5 and the Audi Q7 in terms of footprint, but the proportions carry it differently. The shoulder line is clean and uninterrupted from the front wheel arch all the way to the tail. The LED strip across the front ties the full width together without resorting to decoration. Flush door handles sit flush with the bodywork until you reach for them. Blue ambient lighting runs along the underside of the sills and catches the show floor surface in a way that makes the car look lower than it is. There are no oversized vents trying to explain the performance, no fake exhaust surrounds. The exterior made a decision about itself and committed to it. What is waiting inside is where the budget argument gets properly complicated. The front cabin is the moment you understand what Xpeng was trying to prove with this car. 3 screens. A 10.25-inch instrument cluster sits to the left of the steering wheel, showing speed, range, and driving mode clearly at a glance. Then 2 14.96-inch touchscreens sit side by side in the center of the dashboard. One angled toward the driver for navigation and controls. The other accessible to the passenger, both running Xsmart OS on a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip that keeps the system fast and responsive, without the lag that has undermined other Chinese interiors at this price. Gear selection is handled by a column stalk to the right of the steering wheel, the same approach Tesla uses, which means the console surface between the seats is completely clean. No shifter, no knob, just a wide flat shelf with a wireless charging pad that has a cooling fan built in to stop your phone overheating, and 2 cup holders beyond that. White and cream Nappa leather covers the dashboard, the door cards, and the seats. The stitching is consistent. The front seats have 12-way power adjustment, heating, ventilation, and a 10-point massage system. A bright blue ambient lighting strip runs horizontally across the full width of the dashboard and reflects off the white leather in a way that makes the cabin feel larger than its dimensions suggest. The tweeters from the sound system are integrated flush into the dashboard surface and extend quietly when the car powers up. The kind of detail you notice once and then look for on every other car you get into. I was looking for the compromises. There is no glove box in this car at all, which is a genuinely strange decision, and one that shows up on day one when you reach for somewhere to put your documents. That is the honest negative in a cabin that otherwise has no real business existing at €72,600. The rear cabin benefits from the panoramic glass roof that runs from the front seats to the rear window, and the effect on the back seat experience is significant. The headroom that the coupe profile roofline appears to threaten from outside simply is not an issue once you sit down. Legroom behind a 6-foot driver is genuinely comfortable. The seat cushion is long enough to support adult passengers properly on longer journeys, and dedicated air vents sit at the rear of the center console rather than hidden in the seatbacks where they are harder to reach. The ambient lighting continues into the rear doors. The cream leather in the back matches the front. This is not a car where the rear seat was designed for children and then sold to adults. 660 liters of boot space, around 23.3 cubic feet, with a flat load floor and a low loading lip. 71 liters of frunk up front, which handles charging cables and keeps the boot clean. The G9 tows up to 1,500 kilograms, which is a practical number for a family SUV at this price, and one that most pure electric rivals at the same cost cannot match. The figure that explains how all of this is possible without compromise on range is coming next. 575 horsepower through both axles. The architecture underneath this car is the detail most reviews mention, and then move past too quickly. 800 volts. Most of the performance EVs in this price bracket, including several German ones, are still on 400-volt platforms. That voltage difference is not a marketing figure. It is the reason 12 minutes gets you from 10 to 80%, while a 400-volt rival at the same charge station needs closer to 30. 525 kilowatts peak charging. A coffee stop adds close to 300 kilometers, around 186 miles, of usable range on the 540-kilometer WLTP figure, roughly 335 miles. The battery is 92.2 kilowatt-hours net. The compute system managing the driver assistance suite is NVIDIA Orin-X, which is the same hardware architecture used in systems that cost considerably more to develop independently. Xpeng chose a known, high-performance platform rather than building their own from scratch. That decision tells you something about how they prioritize the development budget. 72,600 euros. A BMW X5 in comparable specification sits in the same bracket. It gives you a stronger residual value curve, a dealer network with 30 years of European service history behind it, and a badge that still carries genuine weight on a used car forecourt in 4 years. Those are real advantages. Not nothing. What it does not give you is an 800-volt platform at this price, a 12-minute top-up time, or a front cabin that matches this one at the same money. The charging gap between these two cars is not a detail. It is a fundamental infrastructure difference that compounds every time you stop on a long journey. For most of this year, I would have pointed someone toward the German automatically. After spending time with this, I am doing that with less certainty. Whether the badge gap is worth, the charging gap is a decision you make, not me. But the evidence is harder to dismiss than I expected it to be. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.